Hi there, Summoners. GuardianE here with another live reaction and first impression video for Fire Emblem Heroes. And here we have the trailer pulled up for the next set of special heroes that are dropping into the game in just a couple of days. So the theme is going to be ninjas once again this year. Let's see who they have lined up to stealthily sneak in and steal our orbs this month. Alright, so blending into the darkness. Special heroes to battle. Tharja? Shadow Ninja Tharja? What? Okay, alright, okay, alright. Cavalry, Red Tome. Scroll of Curses, Luna, Sly Swift Sparrow. Resonance 4, Defense Res, Smoke 3. For the C slot. Okay, Tharja, another version of Tharja, can attack 4 times, mixing in 2 specials, grants Anathema. Ah, interesting, interesting. Oh, the Spinning Shurikens, Ablaze, caught you. Nice, okay. And then it's sort of a constant, a relatively consistent theme with the ninjas is like the Brave effect or the quadding. So another cavalry. Oh, Celine! Teatime Ninja. Okay. Green tea. Okay, infantry blue tome unit. Got some warping, which makes a lot of sense. Scroll of Teas, Glacies, Speed Res Tempo 4 and Speed Res Ploy 3. Deals more damage the healthier allies she has. Okay. Oh. Little burst effect with the... So there's a gust, and then a burst effect with the different, like, light shurikens popping out. Alright. Nice. Oh. What are they demonstrating here? Something on enemy phase. Gallant Ninja. Princely Duties. Diamant. That's a cool weapon with the sickle. So he has or Kusigana, is that what it is? I'm not sure. So he's going to be an axe unit. Kusarigama, excuse me. Boulder for the special, eh? Attack, defense, finish 4, attack, defense, spiked wall, endless tempest. Please don't let it be another infantry locked special. Like, I'm begging you. Like, not another infantry locked special. We have enough of those. Okay. And the counterattack. Boulder. Interesting. I mean, if I had to guess, maybe it's going to be a defense-based... Oh, whoa! Shadows of Fate? Chrom and Lucina? They look great! Okay, wait. Cavalry Archer. Okay, yep. Future Focus. So they're going to have their own unique assist. They've got Curved Shot. Alright, Elise, Ninja Bow, Future Focus, Curved Shot, Flared Sparrow, Speed Defense Detect, Shadow Shift 4. I see. Swap places, Kanto, Obstruct Foe specials, attacks twice. Alright. Nice. Is this the first time we've gotten a Chrom Lucina duo? Like, I want to feel like we've gotten one before, but I don't think so. Duo skill, grants unit another action. Okay, so it's a self-refresh, which is honestly pretty common, again, with ninja duos, is to have a self-refresh. There was more to it. We'll take a closer look, of course, a little bit later, but yeah, okay. Alright, so Family Ninja class, Paralog story, so it's going to be Engage and Awakening. Very, very nice. And that looks like Nor to me. Yeah, that certainly looks like Nor on the battlefield, so we might be getting a Ninja Nor for free. That could be very nice. And, of course, the Fate Pass subscribers get 1 Spark on the seasonal. So starting on November 5th and going for an entire month, we have Family Ninja class, featuring Lucina and Crom duo. We got Tharja, Diamant, and Celine. Even color distribution across. And I should have realized this before, but actually no demote. No 4-star special 4-star focus of the banner at all. It's been a while since we've gotten a banner without a 4-star focus, so that is unusual. I wonder if that is. I wonder if that's leaning towards a trend of them just eliminating them outright. I don't know. I mean, obviously, it's just one time, right? So can't assume any patterns or anything. I shouldn't be assuming any patterns anyway. But yeah, I'm not sure how to feel about that. It's a double-edged sword, right? Because the 4-star focus adds value because they're seasonal, they're limited, and you can get easy merges on them, right? And you can walk away at least with one new unit pretty easily on a banner. And then again, on the other hand, I know that people would be upset when their favorites were designated as the 4-star focus unit, just because they tended to have weaker kits as a whole. I mean, what they could have done is just not given them a weaker kit, but kept 4-star focus units on the banner. Like, because every once in a while, you know, they would have a 4-star focus unit that may not have all premium skills, but would have, like, their own unique weapon, right? And still be able to kind of, like, keep up with the Joneses a little bit in terms of their power output and utility and all of that, at least a little bit. That probably would have been the more friendly solution, but anyway, not to make a mountain out of a molehill. I don't know if that's actually going to be the trend moving forward, because again, I think they usually do have a 4-star focus unit, or they have a 4-star unit that drops into the regular pool alongside the banner. Okay, well, regardless, let's take a closer look at the characters revealed. So first up, we've got Tharja, Ninja Tharja, as a Red Tome Cavalry unit, so bringing back the Red Tome for this version of her. Looks like they have some strategically placed petals here for the promotional art for the trailer. Of course, those petals I'm sure are not going to be there for the final art, but I love how they kept her color palette here maintained from her original form with the dark colors, the gold highlights, again, just keeping in line thematically with how she normally looks. She's got those deadly blades across her forearms, a sword across her back. She has looks like a calligraphy pen in her hand and a scroll in her other hand. Love the fishnet look. The kunoichi, fishnet look is very, very attractive. The webbing all across and very sleek across her figure. Opened up at the generous bust, cut out across the hips, body hugging, sleek in nature. You can even see the navel through the fabric itself. Very, very attractive look for Tharja. The art does a great job of capturing her, and of course, she does fit quite naturally in the shadows, right? Alright, so Scroll of Curses, Might 9, has a killer slaying effect, enables Kanto, Distance, Max 3. At start of turn, if unit's HP is at least 25%, grants attack speed plus 6, Anathema, and the following status to unit and allies within 2 spaces for 1 turn, grants special cooldown charge plus 1 per attack during combat. Quite nice. If unit initiates combat, unit attacks twice, and unit can make a follow-up attack before foe can counter-attack. So just straight up desperation built in for quadding, so she's just like a self-reliant quadding all built into the weapon. If unit initiates combat, or if foe's HP is at least 75% at the start of combat, grants bonus to unit's attack and speed during combat equal to 6 plus 20% of unit speed at the start of combat. Okay, alright. Anathema inflicts speed defense res -4 on foes within 3 spaces of unit during combat. Oh, interesting. So it actually bestows an in-combat debuff as like an aura around the character as a buff, right? It's a buff to the character, in-combat debuff to any enemies within 3 spaces. We got Luna for the special at 3 cooldown, and of course with the Killer Slaying effect plus the Blade effect of Scroll of Curses, that does mean that she will proc Luna every 2 attacks, so when she's quadding in an encounter, would be procking Luna twice. In that one encounter. Sly Swift Sparrow for the A slot. If unit initiates combat, grants attack speed plus 8 to unit, and unit makes a guaranteed follow-up attack during combat. Wow, okay, and also if if number of bonus effects active on unit are greater than or equal to 2, excluding stat bonuses, or if number of penalty effects active on unit, active on foe are greater than or equal to 2, excluding stat penalties, unit deals plus 5 damage during combat. I see. That is interesting. So it's not a combination of the two. It's either or, right? Either she has more than 2 or more bonuses on her, or the foe has 2 or more penalties on them, not including stat impact penalties or bonuses. So that's a huge, that's a really powerful A-slot skill for a player-phasing, offensively oriented character. Basically just +8 to attack and speed, and then a guaranteed follow-up attack. Like, that alone is, you know, solidly packed in there as an A slot, and then you get the additional, you know, true damage built in as part of the, you know, the second effect. Got Resonance 4 for the B slot, so that does have the self-inflicted damage, and then the damage scaling off of her HP differential, as well as the in-combat debuff to speed and res. And then Defense Res Smoke 3 for the C slot, inflicts Defense Res -7 on target and foes within 2 spaces through their next actions, and grants attack +6 to unit and allies within 2 spaces of unit for 1 turn, and grants Pathfinder to unit for 1 turn. So those 2 effects alone gives her the meets the condition of Sly Swift Sparrow, so she does get the true damage, because she is going to have the Pathfinder as well as the Anathema condition as part of her weapon too. Yeah, so quite frankly, there's not a lot of frills to what Tharja does here. It's as straightforward as it can be, and frankly, it doesn't need to be more complicated than that. She is a magic quadder through and through, cavalry with Kanto built in, able to chain specials with her special reduction abilities and the Scroll of Curses, stacking on the damage. I think one unique element to her at this point is the Anathema, which I don't think we've seen before, which again is a buff that she bestows on herself and her allies to provide an in-combat debuff on the enemy, which is nice. Now, to me, what's particularly interesting is the Anathema and how it's going to play out with her allies, because remember, she gives Anathema to all of her allies around her, which means that they can effectively gang up on an enemy to really debuff them, right? Within 3 spaces is a generous area around, and it basically is giving them a range skill that flyers would normally have available in their C slot, right? So because she can give Anathema to her allies, she and her allies in a traditional format of a 4-person squad would be able to really debuff speed defense res -4 times 4, right? Right? Potentially, which is quite a powerful impact overall. So again, it adds some additional flexibility and versatility here as a buff, right? Right, so can attack 4 times while mixing in 2 specials, proccing Luna twice, grants Anathema to her allies and to assist them in combat. Very, very nice, and we can check out the attacking art here, quite beautiful. Again, I would guess that the petals are not going to be there during the actual in-game art, or at least not all of them. And I love the swooping scroll there, very dramatic pose, gotta love it. And here is Kunoichi Celine, an infantry blue tome unit. Love how fluffy and voluminous her hair is, the spread in the back, the curls, really bountiful, really nice. Has a little bit more of a princessy look to her outfit, I would say, with the flowers in her hair or in the headpiece, really nice. It still maintains the sort of the almost Easter pastel color dynamic with the palette. I do like the little details, like she has kunai lining the inside of her skirt, so she's got some hidden weapons available at her disposal should a threat arise. Alright, so Scroll of Tease, 8 Might Killer Slaying effect, unit attacks twice on both phases, so unlike Tharja, who only has a Brave effect on initiating, she is also enemy phasing, Celine here. Unit can move to any space within 2 spaces of an ally within 2 spaces of unit, so she has warping capability like we saw in the demonstration. At start of enemy phase, restores 10 HP to unit and allies within 3 spaces of unit. Okay, so got that support wrapped in there. After start of turn effects trigger on enemy phase, for unit and allies within 3 spaces of unit, neutralizes stat penalties and 2 penalty effects. Does not apply to penalty effects that are applied at the same time. Neutralizes the first applicable penalty effects on units' list of active effects. Okay. That's a really potent and really powerful support ability. Yeah, I'm being able to just neutralize 2 penalty effects in the list. Now, it is a little random because you don't have a ton of control over what the first 2 penalties are in the list. So that is interesting. It actually begs the question of how they're even ordered, because I actually don't know. I don't know if they do happen at the same time. Is it based on order? Like, is it based on? I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure how they're listed actually. Interesting. Okay. Grant speed res +4 to allies within 3 spaces of unit during their combat and restores 10 HP to those allies after their combat. So post-battle restoration as well. If unit initiates combat or is within 3 spaces of an ally, grants bonus to units attack speed defense res +50% of unit speed at the start of combat +5. Deals damage equal to 6 times number of allies with HP of at least 50% during combat. Max 18, excluding AoE specials, and restores 10 HP to unit after combat. Now that is fascinating. That is fascinating. So she actually not only restores HP, so she has multiple effects of restoring HP to herself and her allies, but you'll actually get damage based around the number of allies that are healthy around her. Not even around her, just on the battlefield. There's no limit to that effect. Like, it's just any allies that have at least 50% HP, she gets bonus damage because it turns that support ability into amplified damage for herself, which I think is quite unique. Glacies for the special, Speed Res Tempo 4 for the B slot, inflicts Speed Res -4 on foe, neutralizes effects that grant special cooldown charge plus X to foe, or inflict special cooldown charge -X on unit. Damage reduction piercing, right, okay. So, which is very valuable, actually. It's very important this day and age to have damage reduction piercing. So, actually, that reminds me that Tharja did not have damage reduction piercing anywhere in her kit. Nor did she have damage reduction. Of course, she's a player-phasing unit. She's not going to be enemy-phasing. And so her intent is to quad and not really get hit at all. Sort of a glass cannon approach. So it makes sense to not have damage reduction, but to not have damage reduction piercing is a little bit more questionable in this day and age. I'm sure she's going to have multiple ways of getting damage reduction piercing in some way, shape, or form. But yeah, just something worth noting. But anyway, back to Celine. Tempo 4 going to be a great effect for her. The anti-guard on her, or the neutralization of the guard effect, as well as the debuff, as well as the damage reduction piercing, all going to be very valuable for her. And then Speed Res Ploy 3 for the C slot. At start of player phase or enemy phase, if any foes within 3 rows or 3 columns centered on unit have res less than unit's res +5, inflict Speed Res -7, ploy, and exposure on those foes through their next actions. Yeah, that's... that is quite potent. That is quite a potent ability baked into the ploy skills. Quite useful, especially for the entire team, and also kind of lends itself a little bit more to the utility support playstyle that she has. I mean, don't get me wrong, she's going to hit like a truck, because again, her support abilities feed into her damage output, which is, again, a nice archetype for her. Attacks twice and deals more damage the more healthy allies she has, bolsters allies in a wide area. Yep, so yeah, I think that's great. Alright, so next up we've got Diamant as an infantry axe unit. Ninja Diamant looking as dapper as ever with his Kusarigama? Is that the name of the weapon? I see it all the time in different action games like Ninja Gaiden and things like that. Very, very impressive, flourishy weapon type. He's got the feathered hair, the chiseled looks, the smirk across his face, the dark color palette with the red and the black across the armor looks very, very nice on him. Alright, so Bold Kusarigama, 11 might, killer slaying effect, unit attacks twice on both phases, so brave effect on both phases. If unit initiates combat or is within 2 spaces of an ally, grants bonus to unit's attack, speed, defense, res, so all stats, equal to 15% of unit's defense at start of combat +5, deals damage equal to 25% of unit's defense, reduces damage from foes attacked by 25% of unit's defense, okay. Neutralizes reduced damage by X% effects from unit and foes non-special skill, so damage reduction nullification as well. Neutralizes effects that guarantee units and foes follow-up attacks. Oh, okay. And increases the speed difference necessary for unit or foe to make a follow-up attack by 20 during combat. Speed must be greater than or equal to 25 in order to make a follow-up attack. Stacks with similar skills. So interesting. Okay, so he is going to be not really about the quadding, it doesn't seem, but about the neutralization of the enemy's follow-up attacks, right? If unit initiates combat, grant special cooldown count -1 to unit before foe's first attack during combat. So he actually has a preemptive special charge as he initiates combat, which is going to be quite nice with Boulder here. So yeah, that is interesting. So he's not going to be speedy, which you wouldn't really expect from Diamant either, at least in terms of the archetype overall. Instead, he's going to be neutralizing the enemy's ability to follow up, or at least making it harder for them to follow up, and then also neutralizing their ability to get follow-up attacks, but also neutralizing his own ability to get guaranteed follow-up attacks. So that's not really going to be his goal. In fact, he's going to be just stacking on different buffs and bonuses based around his defense stat instead, and he's going to have the ability, of course, to double with the brave effect, right? So let's take a look at Boulder here. A 3 cooldown, boosts special damage by 50% of unit's defense when special triggers. If unit or foe's special is ready, or if unit or foe's special triggered before or during this combat, and also, if unit's defense is greater than or equal to foe's defense -4 during combat, reduces damage from foe's next attack by 40%. Alright, so that's just a straight up upgrade to Bonfire, right? I mean, it has the Bonfire effect as the first part of the skill, and it's a 3 cooldown special just like Bonfire, but then it has additional damage reduction built in. So if I had to guess, it's not so good that it's like a unique skill for Diamant, but it is instead going to be inheritable, probably locked to infantry, if I had to guess, which I find exceedingly annoying because they continue to pump out these like infantry exclusive specials. Again, that's speculation on my part, not confirmed or anything, but does feel like that's probably going to be the case. Attack defense finish 4 for the A slot. Attack defense spiked wall for the B slot. It is lending itself to sort of his enemy phase oriented kind of nature. Foes with range of 1 cannot move through spaces adjacent to unit, and foes with range of 2 cannot move through spaces within 2 spaces of a unit. Inflicts attack defense -4 on foe, deals damage equal to 15% of greater of unit's defense or res, reduces damage from foe's first attack by 7. First attack would also mean the Brave effect, right? It's both first and second attack in the context of a Brave attack, and neutralizes effects that inflict special cooldown charge -X on unit during combat, so neutralizing guard effects and everything, which is quite nice for him because, of course, he wants to proc that boulder, right? Endless Tempest for the C slot. Start of turn, unit can move 1 extra space. If unit or foe initiates combat after moving to a different space, grants bonus to units stats equal to number of spaces from start position to end position of whoever initiated combat, and neutralizes foes' bonuses during combat. Alright, so once again, we're seeing the Choose Your Legend skills already adopted into other characters or other units, where I think in past years, there's usually been a little bit of a grace period. And usually when the Choose Your Legends units bring new skills out there, there's usually a latency period of like, probably like half a year, maybe, before we start seeing it in the regular pool. Now, granted, this isn't the regular pool. Diamant is a seasonal unit, a special limited unit, so not in the regular pool per se, but nonetheless, again, seeing the Choose Your Legend skills already, as powerful as they are already with other units is, I don't know, I think it speaks volumes about the pace of the game and the pace of skill growth. But yeah, Endless Tempest is obviously very, very powerful. It's obviously going to work very, very well in terms of getting him in there, getting him into position so that he is going to be able to be that formidable wall, to be able to just block off the enemy and deal tons of damage with Boulder, get that pre-charge to his special when he's attacking, and enemy phasing, and being resilient there. Can move 3 spaces each turn, defeats foes using 2 attacks with a special, and is sturdy in his defense. That is very true. And here we've got the duo of the banner, Lucina and Crom, together as a father-daughter pair. Honestly, warms my heart to see them together. I think it's quite cute. Again, I was a little surprised to realize that they had not had a duo yet, like just thinking back. But yeah, no, this is the first time they've come together. Crom's been in a number of duos with Robin. And so, yeah, this is the first time I think that Lucina and Crom are paired together like this, and it's quite endearing to see them together. They are going to be a cavalry archer unit. We got, of course, Lucina there brandishing the bow. I like her new hairstyle with the low ponytail. Very on theme, at least in terms of the overall, like, kunoichi look. She's got the kitsune mask on her shoulder. Got sort of a fur lining to her outfit, too, which is really nice. She does have a little bit more of the traditional kunoichi outfit with the webbing or the fishnet up top. She does have some kunai strapped to her thigh there, too, with the high boots. The color palette looks really, really reminiscent, of course, with their original outfits, too. Always like that thematically, that they're on key. With Crom as well, I do like how they're both wearing the shinobi headplate. Very appropriate. And Crom actually looks like he's wielding almost like a dagger version of the falchion, and his pose is actually reminiscent of his awakening pose as well. So a lot of nice callbacks and references in the art, I feel, and also just very well realized in terms of the design, the line work, the colors, the lighting and everything. I think they did a great job on the art. Alright, so taking a look at their kit, Ulysses Ninja Bow. 8 might, effective against flying foes, of course. Killer Slaying effect. Unit attacks twice on both phases, so either enemy phase or player phase. If unit initiates combat or is within 2 spaces of an ally, grants bonus to all stats equal to 15% of unit speed at the start of combat plus 5. Unit deals damage plus X times 5 damage. max 25, where X is the number of bonus effects active on unit, excluding stat bonuses, plus number of penalty effects active on foe, excluding stat penalties, excluding AoE specials. Interesting. So another raw damage component, true damage, that's baked around the number of bonuses on them, number of penalties on the enemy at the time of initiation. Reduces the percentage of foes so actually damage reduction piercing built into the weapon as well. Neutralizes effects that inflict special cooldown charge minus X on unit during combat, so anti-guard. And also, if unit's attack can trigger unit special, grant special cooldown count -1 to unit after first special trigger per combat. Oh, okay. So they actually get a pre-charge after proccing their special. I see. Huh. Future focus for the assist. Unit and target ally swap spaces, grants future witness and null follow-up to allies within 2 spaces of both unit and target after movement for 1 turn. Okay, so grants future witness and null follow-up not only to Lucina and Crom and the unit they swap with, but also just allies within 2 spaces of those. Grants special cooldown count -1 to unit and those allies, and grants another action to unit once per turn. Alright, so what does future witness do? So it enables Kanto 2. Already very, very strong. Grants +5 to all stats to unit, reduces damage from foes' first attack by 7 during combat, which would include brave effects. Also, if unit initiates combat and foe's attack can trigger foe's special, inflicts special cooldown count +1 on foe before foe's first attack during combat. So special rewind on the enemy as a buff, like just as a buff that she gives to herself, her ally, and allies around the area. That's really strong. That's really, really powerful. That's a really powerful effect to just bestow on allies like that. That's really potent. Really, really potent. Curved shot for the special. Once again, getting those, Choose Your Legend skills already in other units. Very, very powerful, of course. 30% of the greater of foe's speed or defense. And then, of course, you get damage reduction built in too. Flared Sparrow for the A slot skill. Got speed defense detect for the B slot. That would inflict speed defense -4 on foe during combat. Now, obviously, this is perfect for them because of the whole unique assist that they have. If a movement assist skill is used by unit or targets unit, inflicts exposure on closest foes within 5 spaces of both unit and target ally, or unit and targeting ally after movement and foes within 2 spaces of those foes through their next action. So an AoE debuff of exposure. Inflicts special speed defense -5 on foes on the map with the exposure effect active, and neutralizes bonuses to speed and defense for those foes during combat. So just piling on the debuffs and the penalties on the enemy as in combat and otherwise during combat debuffs as part of exposure. Yeah, so yeah, just obviously that's going to work very, very well considering that they have their own really extremely potent unique assist. Shadow Shift 4 for the C slot when Kanto triggers, and of course they always get Kanto because of the Future Witness effect. Enables units to use reposition on ally. If unit is within 3 spaces of an ally, grants +3 to all stats to unit during combat and restores 7 HP to unit after combat. So obviously tons of maneuverability just built into their kit, being able to do the swap, get the additional turn, being able to get the Kanto, and then get the reposition afterwards, being able to, just glide across the entire map like that, be able to bestow that Future Witness effect, not only on themselves, but also on their allies like that, is really, really strong too, and obviously works in tandem with the assist boosting effects. And of course, with maneuverability, we already saw with their duo skill that they are going to be able to self-refresh. So swap places to grant allies Kanto and the ability to obstruct foe specials, attack twice, deals up to +25 damage. So yeah, and again, being able to have the special rewind built into the kit and bestow that on her allies is just so strong. It's a really, really valuable ability. Definitely really gorgeous art here. Love the symbol in Lucina's eye as she's taking aim, the flourish, and the effects of the weapon itself as the special procs. Just really nice stuff. So, yeah, we can even see it in action here. So she gets the Kanto, able to get a reposition. And then, of course, their duo skill grants a unit another action, and if Kanto has already been triggered, re-enables Kanto. Once again, just leading into this effect of having multiple actions per turn, right? So she just has so many actions They just have so many actions at their disposal. It's like, okay, so it's the first assist, then they have the attack, then they have the Kanto, then they have the reposition, then they have the duo skill to do another attack, then they have the Kanto again, and then they have another reposition, right? So that's like 7 different actions in one turn for this unit, potentially with the duo skill. That's a lot. That is a lot. Alright, so once again, starting on the 5th of November, Family Ninja class. We got the Ninja banner for this year in FEH. I gotta say, I like the banner. I do like the banner. Kind of a callback to the classics of Awakening, where we haven't seen in a little bit. It's been a while. Gotten some Awakening representation recently, gotten some Engage representation recently too. But again, getting some alts here, which is pretty nice, of some pretty popular characters. And for good reason. Tharja, I'm super excited about, just in terms of design and getting another Tharja in general. I think what she does is incredibly straightforward, but also very, very effective. I think the only thing that she's potentially missing is damage reduction piercing, unless I missed that somewhere in her kit. But once she gets that at her disposal, she's going to be a force to be reckoned with, even with a relatively simplistic like kit in terms of just stacking damage and quadding, having the built-in desperation and everything. It's quite powerful with the multiple proccing of the special and everything. Diamant is going to be a force to be reckoned with too, with the Endless Tempest, and basically setting himself up as a Brave effect wall, and then nullifying the enemy's ability to do follow-up attacks and everything on him. Celine having a bit of a warping effect built into her kit, as well as the support elements to her kit too, are really, really nice. Adding additional utility to the battlefield. In addition, boosting her own damage in accordance with that support ability is, I think, a really unique effect. I like how they kind of structured her as an archetype. And then the duo, having up to, I mean, I may have miscounted, but I think 7 actions in a single turn is absurd. And just having that additional, maneuverability and everything, the utility that they have in bestowing Future Witness to their allies is just really, really strong too. And yeah, they're going to be fun to use for sure as a unit. So I suppose you could argue that the character selection is a little vanilla, but I feel like it's been a while since we've had vanilla, so I'm all right with it. And again, the character choices themselves, obviously fan favorites. And the theme and the overall kits are really compelling. I think they're going to be interesting and fun to use. So, but yeah, honestly, I could see myself going in on this banner for at least Tharja and the duo. I'm not entirely sure, not committed to it or anything, but definitely piqued my interest. But let me know down below if you guessed this banner, if you guessed all the units available on this one, and you guessed their kits, who the duo was. And if you're excited for it, are you going to be summoning for the Ninja banner for this year? Let me know down below who your targets are going to be. Best of luck to you. Hopefully you all enjoyed the video. If you did, please consider leaving a like, commenting down below, subscribing to the channel for more Fire Emblem Heroes content. We thank you all so much for watching, and until next time, let's protect those skies.